Education Independent Study. So today, I'm going to talk about three different types of tests for motor tests for children. So I have first up Bailey Scales for development. I'll talk about that later on. It was developed and it's very popular among just because it's very easy to use. Second test up, the Alberta Infant Motor Scale, very popular for infant testing. And finally, motor assessment of infants, very young children for infants. So to start, we'll talk about the Bailey's Scales for development. So the Bailey Scales for development really has three main tests, but there's five total. But every time that it's used, only three are actually given. And then if the person giving the test, the administrator, decides that the other two need given, they can definitely give those two tests along with what they're doing. So the three main tests are the cognitive tests, language tests, and the motor tests. And then the other two non-main ones are the social and adaptive. So the cognitive test really is testing a child's ability to think through problems, problem solve, identifying like how an object is manipulated, how it's moved, and what it would look like from different angles. Language would be, how to interpret language, such as like directions from the tester. And then motor tests would be, how well a child's ability to move around objects, move over objects, move certain objects, and then the social and adaptive really just really testing how well a child can socially interact and adapt to certain situations. Those two aren't as popular, aren't as necessary for us as adaptive physical educators. So the Bailey's test is very popular because it has a wide use. It can identify a wide range of different issues with the child. Cognitive, language, motor, all those different things can fall under the Bailey scales, and we can figure out exactly what specialist maybe a child needs to be sent to after looking at the Bailey scales results. Like I said, ability to identify many issues. It's not necessarily one thing that it's going to be able to identify. It's going to be able to identify maybe a child has a deficit in one certain area, and maybe they need extra help in that area and need sent to a specific professional. Another thing that's very well liked about the Bailey's test is that it's very short and very fast. It doesn't require any equipment, and you get results immediately. So if you do the three main tests and that's it, at max it's going to take you 45 minutes to do this test. And all the equipment that it needs can be found in your office or in your physical education gymnasium. So very small amount of equipment, very small amount of space needed, and it's not that in depth. So you can do it very quickly. A physical educator could do it with their young children, maybe 5, 6, 7-year-old children, very quickly, and they'll have results immediately, and then can make their decisions on what maybe they should do after that, and use those results to talk to the special educator, talk to a therapist, talk to the parents of the child and say, hey, this is what I think, maybe there's something up, maybe we have a deficit in this area, and we can be sent to the right professional. So the next test up is the Alberta Infant Motor Scales. This test is for very young children, 0 to 18 months, and it's really used as an early identifier. And so this test maybe can't be used as much in a physical education by an adaptive physical educator. Maybe with their young students, they're 4 or 5 years old. Maybe if they're doing with pre-K kids, maybe they can use it to an extent. It's scored on a scale of 1 to 58, and it is used to determine maturity. So it's norm reference, so it's based on data that's been collected from thousands and thousands of kids, and it's saying how well a kid can move compared to other kids that are normal at their level, how mature they are. If they're at a high level, lower level, really helps determine maybe there's going to be an issue later on as the child develops, and can really be used to help push a student or guide a student towards what services they might need in the future to help them be successful. This test is not intended to be used by itself. It accompanies other tests. Maybe the Bailey's test, for example, could be used along with this. Maybe the next test we're going to talk about, the motor assessment of infants, maybe it can be used along with those to really get a good solid picture of where the child's deficits are and where they need to be sent to next. This test is very fast, less than an hour, requires no equipment, and the test is done right away. So a child placed into 4 different positions. There's the prone position, which is laying on their stomach, supine position, laying on their back, sitting position, and then standing. If the child's too young to be actually standing on their own, parent or the administrator, somebody can help them stand and see what movements they're going to create in those positions. So when the child is moving in those positions, the administrator is really looking for what patterns they're creating that are mature for their age, what patterns are immature for their age, and what they're doing that's normal, what they're doing that's not normal. The high score is a 58. The lower the score, generally the worse. And the bottom 10% of children that fall in the last 10 percentile, they're going to be identified as probably needing some help and sent to a professional somewhere else, whether that's the special educator and talk to them, or administrators and figure out who exactly they should be sent to. Again, this test might not be as handy for actual adaptive physical educators. It'll be useful for them to understand kind of where the test is coming from and what mature movement patterns look like for students at their age. But by the time a kid's in elementary school, 4, 5, 6 years old, the time for this test is come and gone. But if a teacher understands the premise and why it was used, why it might be used, can really give them an idea of when and where they should intervene with the student and maybe where they should send them to get help. The final test we're going to talk about is the motor assessment of infants. Again, this test is for infants 0 to 18 months old generally, and so it might not be as widely used by adaptive physical educators either in the primary school setting. However, understanding the premise can be very important for adaptive physical educators and understanding where the test is coming from. So this test was developed in the 1970s by a woman named Lynn Chandler. And really, her idea was she wanted to come up with a test that identifies how a child is developing compared to other kids at their age, and really be able to predict whether later on in a childhood they're going to have issues. So again, this test, first 12 months of life, I think before I said first 18 months, this one's strictly for first 12 months of life, and it's going to be administered by medical professionals, whether that's therapists, whether that's doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, whoever feels necessary to do this test. This test, really for physical educators, isn't as widely used, but understanding, how a child manipulates certain equipment might be important for them to understand, and maybe make a recommendation to get the child the right help that they need. So this test is a little bit more difficult than the other tests we talked about because it requires very specific equipment. It requires training on how to do the test correctly, and that's why, again, physical educators might not be using this test as much. Some of the equipment used, they're all small, like a red light, very small 1-inch cubes, certain pellets, bells, balls, strings, rings attached to the strings, so little things like that might not be found in a physical educator's equipment closet. The person that's going to be using this test would have all that equipment. They probably bought a kit to give this test with, and they're going to be able to use it. And so mainly I think this test is important for physical educators to understand, because they understand where the test is coming from, what the premise is, and understanding that how a child's interacting with their environment, the equipment that we use in physical education, how they're interacting with that equipment, how they're treating it, whether they're using it in a mature way, and manipulating it in a mature way. We can figure out whether a child is maybe needs looked at more in depth by certain professionals. So the 3 tests we talked about today are the Bayley scales, the Alberta Infant Motor Scales, and then the motor assessment of infants. All 3 of these tests are very handy for all sorts of people. I think the first 2 we talked about, Bayley scales and Alberta scales, those are most important for a physical educator, and they're going to be widely used, especially in elementary settings. If a teacher is looking for maybe this child needs further help, then maybe they have some deficits in certain areas, and we're going to try and offer them help. So, in conclusion, these 3 tests are very handy for all adaptive physical educators to understand the premise and where they're coming from. Thank you.